The way we operate is I will ask you to come up to the podium. I'll swear you in unless you're a counsel. We'll hear the case. We'll ask the board for any questions or comments. I'll open it up to the public afterwards. And then when we close a case, it's closed. There's no further input from the public at that point. Board members' names are in front of you on the dais with Town Code Enforcement Officer Mike Carnazza and Town Council Greg Fulchetti in with us this evening. Will you all please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, our first case was a holdover from last month, and it's an application of Andrew Laporte for a variation of section 156-39.5, seeking a variance for permission to raise meat birds, 25 to 50 birds at a time, and the property is located 944-946 Peekskill Hollow Road, Carmel, New York, and is known as tax map 53.1-14. I'm not going to read all the it's a little too much here, but you were here last month. State your name and address for the record.
Andrew Laporte, 944 Peekskill Hollow Road, Putnam Valley, New York, 10579.
And raise your right hand.
Right.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
So, we got it.
Okay, so you came through, you made some changes, right?
Yes, you
That we
asked
picked up
for
from
a
last
few additional-
month. So we're still doing, well, let's see, you're allowed to have 18 chickens, and you're asking for 50, so you need a variance of 32. Insulation for the giraffes, there is no insulation, and variants are required for no coop or no insulation. Nesting place for eggs, there's going to be no eggs. Chickens are not egg laying. That's the variance you're requesting on that. Accessibility, the code requires accessibility to eggs. No eggs will be provided, and the variance will be no access to eggs, no eggs, once again. And no coop in the front yard. You want to provide the coop in the front yard, and you're looking to have a variance to allow that. So you want to just explain anything new, anything to add to the case?
Nothing's changed since the last time.
Okay. Board members, have you all had a chance to take a look and rethink this? Any questions?
Well, you know, Phil was kind enough to read the code out for the chickens, which is more or less read or written for a chicken that's laying eggs, and not so much for your style of operation there, which is if I remember correctly, you get a chick, and in 6 weeks it's 8 weeks,
Yeah,
and then it's done, and you're going to do that about 4 times a season,
twice actually.
twice a season.
Yeah, usually start May, done by the end of July.
Looking at the structure, you had a 10-foot by 12-foot wide structure. You know, so that's about 120 square feet. You were saying you need 4 square feet per bird. I believe that's what you were looking for. So in each one of those, you do actually meet that. You can get 30 birds in there.
Well, I think the limit is 18 that you're allowed max, so that's, I think, where the rule comes in.
Oh, okay, so it was 18 max on that property size, right?
Correct. They allow X per acre with a maximum of 18. He wants to have 50, I believe, right?
Yeah,
So it'll be 25 babies and 25
Adults,
maturing.
right.
And then the babies are in the roll-away coop, I don't know what you called it, the tractor coop.
25 would be in the coop where they'd be in basically a tub with
There you
lights
go.
on them to keep
And
them
the other
warm.
25 would be more free range, I guess, right?
Well, they're in the cage. They're not really.
But running around inside the cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, please speak into the microphone.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sorry. You can pull that off the stand and handhold it if you'd like.
It's okay.
So, you know, yeah, it was interesting, you know, we're just looking at the variance, and it's not in my purview to say, but it looked like there was a stream running through the front of your property. I'm not really familiar with the topo, but that's not for us to look at, right, Mike?
There is a stream up front. Every one of the properties along Peekskill Hollow is right along the brook. The other side is Pot Valley. I believe that's yours too, though, right? So they own both sides of the brook, but the brook is the town line. So he owns a piece in Pot Valley and a piece in our town.
Yeah, with regards to stormwater runoff and the droppings from the birds and all that is nothing.
ECB.
ECB. So I have no further questions, John, with that.
Rose, she's got a whole slew.
I have a whole slew. How long are you living there?
I moved into the property when I was in 5th grade, I think.
So, years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, you're still in high school.
When I was looking at the minutes, when I was reading through them, it seemed to me that you've been doing this for a while now.
I used to live in a different property off of Wood Glen Drive, which is in Putnam Valley.
Okay, so you know you've done this.
Yes, I have.
You know how to do it. Okay. Where are you butchering?
It would be by the pole barn,
Inside or outside?
depending upon the weather.
Okay. Are they ever out of the pen? Do they ever get to walk around, or they're stuck in there the whole time? Okay.
They're not really stuck. There's plenty of room for them. You wouldn't want them out. I mean, we have hawks and
Yeah,
all sorts of coons, and it's better, it's safer for them.
okay.
Plus the meat's better, right?
What?
The meat, when it's done and they're not moving around.
This type of bird, which is called a Cornish cross, it becomes kind of lethargic, I guess is the proper word, and doesn't really, doesn't really run around.
Okay, and,
Trying to call my son. It gets fattened up and
Yeah.
ready for slaying.
If I wasn't
It's got
to
turkey hangover.
process them, they would theoretically die within 2 to 3 weeks after my time frame, because they outgrow their body size.
okay, yeah, I read about them. I did look it up. It says, it must be screened at ground level from adjacent lots, so you're gonna have to have some screening on the code?
Nobody's going to see that.
Okay. And the perch area is not needed. And the tub, where is the tub for the 2-day-old chicks gonna be?
It would be in a shed or the pole barn.
Okay,
It needs electricity, so more than likely the pole barn.
okay. Quick question for Mike. If Mr. Laporte sells and somebody else comes in and they want egg-laying chickens, do they have to come back to you for a variance?
No, he would have a variance for up to X amount of chickens. But if somebody had 50 egg-laying chickens, they wouldn't, that would be for like selling to a grocery store. That's more than a house can use.
But,
People with 12 have cabinets full of chickens, of eggs, sorry.
right, but we're granting this variance based on different needs.
Correct. So grant it based, if you're going to grant it, grant it based on, what do you call it, meat chickens, not on egg
Okay.
chickens,
So I have to condition it.
if you choose to.
Okay, that's it for me.
No questions, thank you.
No question. No questions, thank you.
All right, any input from the public on this application? I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
Second?
Stick around, should be a short night, I hope.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Sylvia.
That's what I'm here for.
Watch on
Sit down.
Application
TV.
number 2, I'll look
Sit
for,
down and relax. Sit down.
I'll look for a motion to dismiss without prejudice.
So moved.
Second, Bill?
Second.
Bill, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Application number 3, Nicole DeRosa for variation of section 156-15, seeking a use variance for permission to retain existing shed and pergola. Property is located at 190 East Lake Boulevard, Mahopac, New York, tax map 76.22-1-13. The code allows and requires 20 feet per side for the pergola. What's existing is 5.4 and 5.4, so variance is required of 14.8, or 14 feet, 8 inches times 2. And 20-foot, code allows and requires 20 feet for the side, for the shed. What's provided is 0 feet, so a variance of 20 feet is being requested. Good evening, state your name and address for the record.
Nicole DeRosa, 189 East Lake
Nicole, do me a
Boulevard.
favor, just speak to the microphone, it's being recorded for minutes.
Nicole DeRosa, 189 East Lake Boulevard, Mahopac.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay. Bring us through your situation. How did this get picked up?
I just got a letter of violation.
Okay, from Dennis?
My property is 100 feet long, but only 24 feet wide.
How wide?
Which is typical for most of those slips there. How long have both these structures been there?
The shed was built in 13, so 9 years ago, and
You guys, you didn't know you needed a permit?
did not. And
And
the
same thing.
pergola's been there about 8 years.
So same thing, you
Same
didn't?
thing.
If you had to bring them into conformance, what would it cost roughly? What do you think, like if the shed had to be moved?
To move it, maybe $1,000, $800.
Okay.
Even if they moved it, they'd still be out of
Yeah,
compliance.
you still have to,
Yeah, there's nowhere to go.
you're just minimizing the
Yeah.
the variance
impact
is all
on
you're
the- on the
doing.
adjacent neighbor. Okay. You talked to your neighbors?
Yes,
Any issues, concerns?
they have the same issues, actually.
Okay, so they,
Yeah, one after the
they
other.
may be next.
Yeah, they'll be on next
Yeah.
month.
All right, we'll start down here. Sylvia?
No questions? No question.
No questions, thank you.
No questions, it's very attractive.
John?
And I'm glad it's perpendicular, not parallel to the lake.
Yeah,
It's nice.
Helps
Nice.
keep the view open, unfettered.
Yes.
John, anything?
looks good. Okay.
All right, any input from the public on this application? I'll look for motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
All, a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good luck. All right, and the last case tonight is application number 4 for Thomas Judge for a variation of section 156-15, seeking a variance for permission to construct addition of a second floor and front porch. Property is located 534 Overlook Drive, South, Mahopac, New York, tax maps 87.9-1-17. The code requires and allows 40-foot front yard for the porch. What's provided is 28.3 feet, so a variance required of 11.7 feet. And then 40-foot front yard for the second floor. What's provided, or what will be provided is 36.3 feet, and a variance required of 3.7 feet is being requested. Good evening, Joel.
Good evening.
State your name and address for the record.
Joel Greenberg, 2 Musket Road, North Mahopac.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Absolutely.
So help you God.
I do. Well,
Bring
this
us
is a
through it.
very unusual situation, and let me start in the upper left-hand corner here. We applied for a permit with the building department, and at the point where they were ready to issue the permit, Mike took a look at this survey. He said, something is wrong with this. And he's familiar with the neighborhood, so he knows the area very well. And he said, I want to make sure that this survey that I guess you got when you bought the house? Yeah. When they bought the house, this was the survey they were given, and it showed that the house was 48 feet from the front yard, which is obviously a lot more than the 40 feet. Anyway, to make a long story short, we went to a local surveyor and had it surveyed and found that the survey that Mr. Judge got when he bought the property was totally incorrect. And we found that the house was actually, instead of 48 feet, was only 39.5 feet from the front yard. And therefore, obviously, that's the reason we came, and we're here before you for the variance. Basically, as you can see from the picture on the lower right-hand corner, what they're proposing to do is to add a second story onto a portion of the house, which is this part of the house over here you can see in the picture. The other part of the house will remain the same. There's not going to be any change to that. So that basically, the variance we need is because the survey that they were given was off by a lot. And this survey obviously is certified and signed by the surveyor, and that's the reason we're here before you tonight. Also, as part of the project, as you can see from the floor plan, there's this open porch in the front, which you can see over here, with a railing alongside and a series of columns, which gives them protection to go on to the entrance to the first floor of the house. So basically, this was all came about because of a survey that was done. I don't know when it was. There was no date on it. So, but it was done, and obviously very much incorrect, and therefore we're here before you to get the variance so that we can actually put the addition on.
Should we publicly shame that surveyor, or no, we'll keep that quiet?
Well, also, I know the next question you're going to ask, and the answer is yes. The only two people that would be affected by this is the house directly across the street, and if you've been to the site, you'll see that if you go across the street from the judge's house, there's a pretty steep hill, so the house directly across the street is at a much higher elevation than our project, even after we put the second story on, so they can still see beyond and above the house. And there's really nothing behind there. It's just a lot of utilities and stuff, big open spaces, so their view will not be affected at all. And the other person is the one directly to the left of the house, and they've also been spoken to. Both parties have been spoken to, and they've indicated that they have no problem with the variance.
So Joe, you're going straight up off the existing?
That's correct.
Yeah, the only thing that you're bumping out, Joel, is just the porch, but
That's it.
that's just
It's an open porch.
aesthetics. And-
Yes, for
Yep,
aesthetics,
yep.
yes.
And, you know, it's still a pretty good distance from the
Yeah.
road.
Yeah.
I mean, even from the pictures, it shows as such. All right, John, any questions?
Looks good, nice improvement.
No questions, thank you.
Chance down here?
No question.
All right, any input from the public on this application? I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
Second.
Second by Silvio, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, guys. At this point, we're going to adjudicate, so there's no further input from public on any application. Lost my agenda. All right, application number 1, Laporte, I'll look for a motion. I think, Rose, you want to tackle that one with
Sure.
restrictions?
Motion to grant with the condition that this variance is strictly for meat chickens, not egg-laying chickens.
Can I fix that?
Yes,
Absolutely.
please.
Grant with the condition, for meat chickens only, if the applicant chooses to get egg chickens, they should return to this board if they don't meet the current code. Correct?
As stated.
Can we say as stated? It's being recommended. Okay.
As
So,
stated by Mike Garnazza.
Seconded.
do I have a second by Phil? Any discussion, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Application number 2 was dismissed without prejudice. Application number 3,
Motion
Nicole
to grant.
DeRosa.
Oops, sorry. Motion to grant.
Do I have a second? By Bill. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That's granted. And last case, Thomas Judge, I'll look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second by Bill? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Trying
thank
to
you.
keep the judge people happy in New
Yes,
York, so.
yes, we want to keep Aaron around, right?
Aaron.
All right, the minutes from September 22nd, 2022, I'll look for a motion to accept them as written.
Motion to accept.
Do I have a second?
Second.
By Rose. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Motion to have a happy Thanksgiving?
I'll second that.
Motion to end the meeting?
Motion. Make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye. Goodbye.
Thank you all. Have a good, safe
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
And enjoy your
Have a great
holidays,
holiday,
everyone.
guys.